Welcome to Fig Tree Ranch. The reason for the video, we changed the name of the property probably 12 months ago. I thought it would make it just probably a bit easier to sell, more appealing for people to see that this fig tree is the feature on the property. There's more than one fig tree. There's quite a few, and I'll take you out and I'll show you the beginning of a fig tree and a host tree and a couple of other trees on the property. This is a Moreton Bay fig. You can tell by its green fruit, and when it ripens to a red fruit, and there's lots of red fruit here on the ground, and that's ripe fig. The cattle absolutely love it. They keep it all shorn off the leaves where they can reach. They're constantly pruning the base of the tree, and the fruit, I can walk out here when the fruit's ripe and hand feed the cattle. Here we are down in the fourth pasture, and we're looking at this fig tree, and it's growing in this scrub wattle. The scrub wattle's in not that good a condition. It's got a few dead branches up there, but that fig tree there is growing. The base of it there is probably 6-7 foot off the ground. Then you follow its roots down the tree, and it branches out and goes into the ground in two places there. So obviously right here a seed is dropped in there from a bird or an animal, and that's the beginning of a fig tree, Moreton Bay fig tree. Around the other side we have another one growing here. You can tell by the leaves. These leaves are much smaller. It's struggling, but it too is tapped into the ground right there. So in that one tree, we have two future Moreton Bay figs. One really strong, and in fact, that has doubled in size in the last couple of months. Anyway, that's the beginning of a fig tree on a host tree. As I said, this scrub wattle is not the best, but it probably will last long enough for that fig tree to be the major tree in this place. So we'll go down further here in this pasture, and we'll have a look at a tree that I first saw when we first moved here 10 years ago, as I said earlier, and we'll see what condition it's in and see if we can find the host tree. The original tree here, and as we come around the back of this tree, there's the old stump there, and the tree has certainly gone down into the ground. As we come around further, we see bark and the root system all intertwined. And in actual fact, there's a vine running up there, coming out of here, And out of the base of this fig tree running up, so it could be a strangular fig. Its roots are going around all that up there, and I can see that it's starting to strangle itself. So I'm going to bring the chainsaw down and I'm going to chop this off so that it loses the strength. I'm currently been looking for some fruit to see whether it's a Moreton Bay fig or not, but I can't see any. Now this tree here 10 years ago was probably half the size, but it had been here at least 10 or 15 years on the host tree. So I have got a photo of a friend of ours in 2014 sitting on this tree. I'll put up. And you can see, you may see a little bit of difference. So here we have another big fig tree. Its base is probably 4 foot across, and it's growing down in this storm gully up in the mountain, up in the second pasture just before the mountain fence. It's got lots of different leaves up in this tree. I can see lantana. There's a big vine that runs up there. There's heaps of leaves over on this side of the tree here that's different. I've never really cleaned up around this one other than sprayed for weeds. These weeds are coming back, so I need to probably get back to them. I have knocked these. I think I probably pushed into this with the tractor at some point, but you can see these branches, how they come right out, and it grows right up. And I think the main thing that these trees do is they just get bigger and bigger limbs on them. You can see its base down in there, and it just grows out and up. This is in a very fertile place. So this is probably the second biggest tree, fig tree on the property. So let's go and have a look at the one up at the driveway. I don't see any fruit growing on this at all. But it probably spans from there out to there, 15 metres, probably 18 metres. As I said, its base is probably 1.3 across, 1.4 across down there. So it's a healthy tree, even though it's got lots of other trees competing as well, which I probably should come and chop off the chainsaw. Well, let's go and have a look at the other ones. So we've come up our driveway. It's the driveway into the property, and we have probably the second biggest fig here growing. This one here, you can see, is covered in fruit, so they'll definitely they'll get bigger, probably twice as big, and then they'll go red. The actual cattle love the tree, as I've said before, and this is a nice specimen. And that's its base there. It's growing up. Doesn't seem to have any bad habits, as in nothing else growing in it. Looks pretty clean, other than over there next to it there's a gum tree running right up through it. That's okay. Now this one here we'll leave alone. Doesn't look like it's had any big branches down in the last few years. I have no idea how big this was when we first came here, but it's they've definitely grown in size. The branches have got bigger. But it's definitely a Moreton Bay fig, and the fruit's about the same as the big fella. And the big fella, in relationship to this one here, is right there. And you can see it. We'll go down and have another look at it. We'll have a look at some of the branches. Let's go. Okay, so, well, welcome back to Fig Tree Ranch. The reason for the video is to just show the fig trees on the property, particularly this one in our back front yard. It's absolutely massive. And 10 years ago, April 10 years ago, we bought the property, and it hasn't changed that much other than a couple of branches that are now closer to the ground. They used to be cow height. The cows love Moreton Bay fig leaves, they love the fruit. I quite often feed them the fruit when it's ripe. It's green at the moment and there's a lot on it. I'll show you that some of that shortly. And the actual figs are red in colour when they're ripe. So I'm about to measure the stump of the tree. So let's go and do that. I'll just grab one of these cameras and we'll go around and have a look. So what I've done here is I've got my trusty tape measure, and I put a couple of screws in the trees, which I can run this around here. Like that. Then we can come back to the original marking, drop that over the back, and we have 24'9" or 7 meters 500. 7 meters 500 around the base. So that's where the tape runs. 7 meters 500 around the base. Keeping in mind, I've never measured it before. I've only looked at those branches, one there and one on the other side over there, how close they are to the ground now, and I figure that's just the weight of the branch. As it grows, it gets bigger, it gets heavier, and then it gets lower to the ground. That was 5 to 6 feet off the ground, that lower branch, and the same with that one over there, 5 to 6 feet off. But nothing else to me has changed on the tree, including that star picket there. That star picket has been there, and these roots, I really can't say I've changed that much. But the tree is massive, and it's lost one branch there, and it's lost one branch up there in 10 years. You can see figs that are green, and that's a ripe fig there. You can see the red ripe fig. They're quite large, and they seem to expand. But you can see the green ones there, and up there, and right here we have a ripe red one. I'll pick it. They just pick off, and they're mushy. The cows love them. Anyway, that's our fig tree from Fig Tree Ranch. Hope you've enjoyed the bit of history on the old tree, and you'll see the tree when you come down our driveway. It's you come down that driveway there, and you'll see the fig tree straight away, and it's right in front of the house there. The house is just up the back there. So anyway, we've measured the tree. We've looked at the other trees on the property, and we'll leave it here and catch you on the next one. Bye for now.